That circular is ultra vires. My view is he was right. The problem is, I think he chose the wrong tactical approach. Because what was the result? There is a judge who wrote a decision saying cryptocurrencies are illegal in Uganda. Small problem. Their decision to say what section of the law says dealing in crypto is illegal. I still haven't found it yet. Now, that's the problem. And that regulatory apathy, which sadly is also... Now, Silva Kayondo, we must give him credit. When he argued his case, I read his submissions after he had filed them. He actually said, let me educate the judge on what crypto is. And he broke it down. Judge didn't care. Now, that's the problem. So, where we are today, unfortunately, is regulators have taken the approach. Bank of Uganda says we have a sandbox until you try to get into it. Then they take you around in circles. And the unfortunate bit is this. You cannot stop the market from working. The best form of regulations I know is the free market. Why? We are all lawyers here, except for Albert. The reason why Elizabeth will charge a higher fee than me is because she is able to convince Albert that you as MTN need me, Elizabeth, not Robert Chirunda. Now, whether MTN billion shillings, we will not pay Robert Chirunda 1 million shillings. That's the market. It regulates itself. Surely it cannot be that there are enough buffoons in this world to invest 4.4 trillion shillings in an asset class that makes no... By the way, at least 20% of that is Bitcoin alone. Global investment banks have invested in Bitcoin. Surely, there's somebody in there who knows what they are doing. It can't be that we're just a bunch of Ugandans who are so... The one problem I've recognized is this. They assume the stupidity of the crowd applies to sophisticated assets. What we are guilty of in the crypto world is this. We don't translate in simple terms. I wish URSB was here. Because for us, when they came to me and said, when my technology friends came and said, how do we explain crypto? I said, just tell them these are digital coins. Everybody knows what a coin is. Don't explain Bitcoin. Just say, if you had money in digital form, would you use it? Now, for instance, crypto has one advantage MTN mobile money doesn't have. Crypto can do microtransactions cheaper. I can do up to 1 out of 100. The fraction is 1 out of 100. That is 0.00000%. But if your change today is 42 cents, you have nothing you can do with 42 cents. In crypto, that money is valuable. So the short answer is this. You want to start an exchange? It is okay. Somebody in America, I think it was Reagan, who said, let them grow, watch them thrive, then tax them, then regulate. Okay. The best form of regulation, in my view, is the market.
Thank you so much, Robert. Albert, just on the back of that, assuming tomorrow you woke up as God, right? It's a very big assumption. You woke up as God. There is no issue about laws. There is no issue about resources. You have the power to put in place a framework as an industry player that supports you to adopt crypto and integrate it in your mobile money payment system. What does that look like? What, in case we were to go and lobby on your behalf, right? What should we tell the Ministry of Finance? What should we tell Bank of Uganda for the enabling environment you need so that my transfer fees, if I'm sending 5K, you're not taking off 1,000, you're taking off that 0.1% because you have a cheaper option of crypto. Yeah, so just describe for us that enabling environment, what you would do if you'd pass a law, if you would pass a regulation, what would you want to see as MTN Momo?
Thank you very much. I think he's put it very well. And but perhaps I will add to say one of the things that the innovators in the country or the tech leads in the country are not doing perhaps very well is engaging also the regulators and government to understand, because if somebody doesn't understand something, it is very easy to say, hey, wait a minute, let me understand what's going on. And that understanding can take years. But the market is not standing still. The market is moving. So I think we ought to have more engagements with the powers that be. And if you look at, I think it's the CDBC, those that are regulated in some countries.
Yes.
There are some countries where we actually see that even when they have regulated, it's not working. And that takes you back to his point of a free market. One of the things that makes some of these technologies very good, like Apple, why people like using the iPhone a lot, people use Gmail. You try getting that information from Google or from Apple and say, I want to know who sent that email, where they are. Try, because you will not actually get it. And I know there was a case in the US where they tried to get an executive's information and they tried, Apple will not give it.
Yes.
So as long as a customer does not feel safe, I think that's data privacy is extremely very important. And I think that's where the lawyers have also to play with the regulators to understand because guess what? Today we see on mobile money, we have businesses, and I say this, I can't be quoted like him. We see big businesses, which or individuals who are trading lots of money, but they will not become registered as businesses. They will register as individuals, but they are using mobile money. It's because people just do not want to be traced or whatever the case might be. Is the regulator is the URI getting the tax? Of course. Do those people have KYC? They do. But they do not, data privacy has become such a big thing that customers just want to do things for many reasons. We used to try to understand the pattern of customers who would not send, we prefer that you send money from your phone to another phone. We always encourage that behavior. But people actually go to an agent, deposit the money and say, Tera ko gundi ali kabali, or Tera ko so and so is there. People just don't want to be known that they are the ones that have, put that money there. Now, I don't know who is supposed to understand that, but we know that all the phones that are transacting on mobile money are registered. But the issue about data privacy cannot actually be ignored. It's far-reaching. The one other thing that I can say here is the things people do behind their phones and laptops. Do you know today that Google, AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, whatever you want, knows you actually better than a lot of the other people know you? It's simply because when you're behind your device, you are comfortable to do anything as long as nobody is shoulder surfing or behind you. And I think it's human nature that we just want to feel safe, secure. You just want to be in an environment. So for me, if you ask me that question around, I think we ought to sit with the regulator. For me, the vision I have when you ask this question, and it's really a very inspiring question, I can just imagine a Uganda where anybody, because our vision as MTN, by the way, is everybody deserves the benefit of a modern, connected life. And it's really the dignity of our people. You sometimes go to the villages and you give somebody 1,000 shillings and they just want to tear up and cry. And it's not the same in Kampala. You give somebody money for a wedding of 500,000 and they take it so much for granted they even thought you should give them more. So our people deserve dignity to the lowest level. So for me, I am imagining a future where the Uganda ecosystem, right, becomes the foundation of a new economic paradigm. And it's possible. A digital economic platform. It's what he's crying for. He's saying, and for us as Momo, we are just a platform of platforms. Mobile money, everything that you see out there is not done by just mobile money. It's an ecosystem of partners, of who more than 80% are Ugandans actually. All those partners that are driving the economy are Ugandans. So we need to build a system where, imagine those people who are having digital assets in the US or wherever. Look at the diaspora, all the money coming in and how expensive it is. and he's told you how you can charge 0.4%. There's benefit for Ugandans. We don't have Visa as much as MasterCard. Mobile money has brought these kind of transactions very close to a lot of the people. The first time I used Visa, I think, is when I started working, and after my money probably I was being paid, was in the range. You know, there is somebody who determines you are worthy and another one says you are not worthy. And that is what this technology demystifies. And anybody can afford it. We just need to train our people. We need to make sure the regulator can accept, and you people come up with the regulations that, of course, we are accountable. We need to make sure we know who is transacting. Now, I don't know how you are thinking in the room. If somebody is sitting in Japan and is sending money, how are we going to manage that KYC? I also don't know. Should we trust that the guy in Japan has done the KYC and that's enough? Because today on mobile money, we need to know who is sending money from wherever they are sending it. As a techie guy sitting there, I'm wondering, really? Today we are also being told if you're going to send mobile money, we need to know who is sending it. On the ATM today, I can send anybody to deposit money for me, right? Anybody can draw money for me. But on mobile money, there's so much restrictions. So for me, the platform needs to be interconnected, right? We have MVNOs, mobile network operators, we have fintechs, we have banks. When you do that, I can see a platform in the middle where the customer in the village does not care whether it is mobile money or it's Bitcoins, but the technology partner in the middle is managing that complexity. Really, they don't care. All they need to know is their number and the PIN, and they should be able to accept the currency in any form it comes in, as long as it's assured by a reputable organization behind it. And I think that's the vision about building the trust, simplicity of mobile money operation, using crypto to unlock new opportunities.
Okay.
Honestly, we are at a cusp of a new age. We need to tap into this technology. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Albert. As we wrap up, I'll take just one question. Before we go to that question, as the person drums up the courage, Robert, I have just one concluding question for you. Albert has explained that the key challenge we have with this crypto space is sensitization. Let the regulators understand that there is little risk, the risk can be managed, and it can be regulated. Assuming you are God, right, as well. You wake up tomorrow, you're God. I want you to just look into the future. Bank of Uganda at the start of this year came up with its own central bank digital currency proposal, right? And they told us that we want to go into this space. We want to be the issuer that you can trust. We're Bank of Uganda, you can trust us. It's not like Bitcoin where someone will disappear in Japan and you have no recourse. Once the consultation was done in November, there was a stakeholder engagement in March. That stakeholder engagement passed. And right after it passes, Donald Trump in the US says CBDCs are the worst thing to come on this earth. And as long as he's president, he passed a law saying, as long as I'm president, there will never be a CBDC in the US. Now, understanding the complex geopolitics in which we operate, do you think Bank of Uganda's CBDC will go forward as proposed? And then secondly, in your second hat as a legal educator, what can be done to sensitize the lawyers who are coming up and the general public so that we can cover that sensitization gap? Yeah.
So you've asked 2 questions, but in reality you've asked 7 questions, which is okay.
Yes.
Let's start. Let's see. You touched on CBDCs, geopolitics, education, regulators.
Yes.
Let's start with regulators. There is a misconception among regulators in this country and elsewhere that crypto is hard to regulate. It is not. Why? Crypto is actually much easier to regulate than mobile money. And I'll tell you why. I don't know if I said publicly or I was telling Albert. When they issued that ban, I talked about this circular. When they issued the circular in 2021, we went to Central Bank as the Blockchain Association and said, I asked them a very simple question. I said, who of you in this room can tell me how much float that digital money that MTN moves on the phone. How much float has MTN ever issued from day one? There was a lady in that meeting who was sharing it. She fell back in her chair and said, my God, that's a serious question. I said, you see, you can't. You don't have the means to. Only MTN knows that number. But I can tell you every single transaction. All I need is tools. If you want to know which tools, I'll even tell you. Look up a company called Chainalysis, the one that he referred to. Chainalysis, that's all they do. They trace crypto anywhere in the world. You will never, for as long as it is a cryptocurrency, you cannot hide it. The idea when you are saying, oh, crypto is good for money laundering, that's just ignorance. The best way, actually the most efficient way to launder money is cash. Because cash has no name. If I walk in here and give you a 50,000 shilling note, you don't even know where I got it from. You don't even care. But from the day a crypto token is mined, to the day it is, once it comes into existence, it never goes away. The immutability of the blockchain makes sure of that. Now, then how do you regulate? Simple, KYC. Every exchange, if you go to your phone now and you say, I want to open a Binance account, you know what happens? Binance says, give us a government-issued ID, send it to us. Now, hold your ID in front of your face, take a picture, send it to us. What they do is they take your physical ID, match it with your internet ID and your email address to say, the person who owns crypto wallet number this is this person. As to whether or not they should hand that information over to the government is another matter. Now, as a person who has advised more than one exchange, let me be honest with you. At the time, the gentleman called Changpeng Zhao, CZ as he's usually called in the industry, he was CEO of Binance. He sat across me in the VIP lounge at the day and said, make no mistake, no serious exchange in the world will ever fight with the government. Simple. The short answer is this. If an exchange has to choose between handing over your identity and losing the license to operate, they will hand over your identity. It is that simple. It's the same way you go to a bank and the bank says, bring your national ID, your mother's national ID, your grandmother's chapa, your uncle's, nephew's, cousin's photo ID. Okay, now bring your land title also. It's KYC. That's the answer to regulation. Now, where they miss it is in assuming that just because you don't have a law that says, tell me all the money you're going to move, somebody else isn't regulating it. No, there's regulation. It's called terms of use. I've read the Binance terms of use. You know what they say? Caveat emptor. Come knowing you're taking all the risk. So which means before you use that exchange, you should educate yourself. And once you've understood how it works, for goodness sake, how many of you know how many servers MTN has? You don't even care where the switch is. You still use MTN mobile money. And you shouldn't care where the switch is. As long as it works. You know why most people use Netflix? Because it just works. Simple. So instead of saying, oh no, don't use crypto, but you look at the, what is it called? It's not an irony. It's a paradox. What's the word for such a strange contradiction?
It's a dilemma.
How do you use Netflix? You connect your bank card. Some guy charges you 30K a month. They allow you to rent a movie. You can't download it. You can't take a picture. You can't record. They are basically lending you a movie for a digital value of 30,000 shillings. Now, how different is that from you allowing me to buy a land title using a cryptocurrency? These things I must speak Luganda really. Let's talk about CBDCs. Let's talk about CBDCs. There are 8 main differences between CBDCs and regular cryptos. Number 1, a CBDC is issued by the central bank. A crypto is decentralized, can be issued by anyone, and is not controlled by a single central authority. Use cases. A CBDC can be used for retail transactions, replacing cash. A cryptocurrency can do more than that. It can be used to make payments. It can be used as a speculative asset class. Also, importantly, borderless payments. Right? Number 3, it is stability. A CBDC is designed for stability in terms of price. The central government controls what the price is going to be. Same way they wake up and say, 1,000 shillings will buy for you 10 onions. Then tomorrow they wake up and print more and then say, now you can get 3 onions. Inflation is a tax on having money. A cryptocurrency, on the other hand, aims for volatility. Why? Because volatility increases usage, which increases price, which drives demand. It's basic economics. Number 4, privacy. A CBDC has higher privacy than physical cash, but less than most currencies. Why? Because now the government knows who you are. It knows your spending habits. It knows who you paid. Let me tell you, if I was Yoweri Museveni, I would issue a CBDC. I'll tell you why. Because that is the one way I can control who in opposition is doing what. I just decide your name is Kyagulanyi. I don't want you to run for president. You will never touch money. And I look for every way in which I can identify you and I cut you off. That's the power of a CBDC. If the government of Uganda understood the power of a CBDC, they would have issued it by now. Now, does that mean if they issue it, there is no way around it? What you go back to the beauty of technology. When MTN says I am a platform, come and build a plug-in. Come and build, what do you call them? APIs. I'm basically saying, me, I've given you a room. If we can organize this room in 10 different ways. Right now, they call it what? Conference style. Now we can decide, remove the tables, let's become a church. Now we can decide, you know what? Remove everything, let's become, must put a mat. New ways and forms of innovation on how to liberalize and democratize money will emerge. Which takes me back to, as a central bank, what really would I do if I had the power? I would let the market regulate itself. The criminal laws we have today cover every nature of criminal activity that can come from using cryptocurrency. Streamline knowledge awareness, teach the police how to catch the crypto thief, then tell them you catch him, take him to a court. Teach a judge how to receive evidence on crypto. The CEO of the biggest exchange in the world, two exchanges were in trouble 2 years ago. FTX went bust. All the charges they charged Samuel Bankman-Fried with. Now, Sam Bankman-Fried is not a lawyer. His parents are professors at Stanford Law School, both of them. Sam Bankman-Fried, this is a case we need to study. I'm going to talk about education just now. Sam Bankman-Fried went and convinced investors in Silicon Valley to invest 12 billion, that's billion with a B, dollars, into his business. Then he lost it. Guess what? They locked him up, sentenced him to 15 years in jail. He's serving time. Then he said, I'm not dying alone. Even the other guy who killed my exchange, even him, he laundered money he sold money to Muslim fundamentalists, sanctioned regimes. Changpeng Jia went to jail for 4 months. You can't hide crypto. You can't. The Americans traced that money and found him. Here is where you should pay attention as lawyers. The law firm that they hired to trace that money is Sullivan Cromwell. The lawyers in Sullivan Cromwell were billing $2,200 per hour to do basic asset tracing and criminal law. Let me say that slowly. There was a lawyer. And by the way, this law firm had 120 lawyers on that case. Do the math. Don't take my word for it. This stuff is on the internet. They were billing $1,200 to do a basic criminal case. There is criminal law. This guy, this was fraud. Then he did racketeering. America didn't pass new laws. Then the prosecutor, the chick, is now in Trump's administration because she took down Sam Bankman-Fried. All she did was to say he had the mental intent to defraud his investors. Simple. He had the mental intent, which he executed like this. They went and squeezed the people he worked with. His right-hand person was some lady, Bambi, 28-year-old girl. They told her, do you want to go to jail? No. Tell us the secret. She said, okay, now you have to testify. This is basic criminal law. Basic charge and caution statement. All of us here know what a charge and caution statement is. She came, she testified, she was a star witness. They cross-examined her, she sweated. She said, no, you know, my conscience, I must tell you the truth. Nabi Totola, they looked up Bankman-Fried. Guess what? Here is the kicker. Today, the assets, the crypto tokens they froze, which Bankman-Fried was accused of defrauding his investors from, are worth enough money to pay back every single investor. The happiest person in that entire mix is who? No, Sullivan Cromwell. These guys built 2,000, yes, $2,200 per hour. The most expensive lawyer I know in Kampala, when they bill a client who is not an international organization, bills $700 per hour. Aboluganda, there is no principle. Those lawyers know that you don't know. Do you understand? That I'm telling you that a guy out there, and by the way, this thing, they did it for 2 years. Do the math. 120 lawyers. The cheapest lawyer on that team, junior associate, $1,700 per hour. Partner, $2,200 per hour. That sounds like good math to me. I don't know about you. The point being, when you sit and think about this from a business perspective and say, if I were a lawyer today, I want to inspire you to think differently. If I were a lawyer today and the cryptocurrency exchange went down in the world, I assure you, there were Ugandans who had crypto assets in FTX. They just didn't know which lawyer to go to. If they had come to me, they would have their money by now. They didn't know that they can go to a lawyer who writes Sullivan Cromwell and says, I represent investors in Uganda. I have 20,000 of them. Pay us or we'll bring a class action against you as a law firm because you have a trust, a fiduciary duty to all investors in FTX, and now I don't care about Bankman-Fried. You have my money, give it back. Do you know what would happen? Those guys would say, let's see how much you know. They would stress you. If they realize you know too much, they pay you to go away. You come and say, my percentage was how much? To scam us.
I know.
The point being, Adam Smith, in The Wealth of Nations, coins the expression, the invisible hand. Adam Smith argues and says the role of the state is not to do business or to stifle it. It is to create the enabling environment. What I would do if I woke up tomorrow, this is impossible. So as a practicing Christian, I need to be cautious to say it is not possible that I could wake up as God. But if I woke up with as much power in this country as to do anything I goddamn well please, the first thing I would do is I would issue an executive order to say to every regulator, get the hell out of the way. The second thing I would do is I would go to every law school and say, I would like to see a curriculum on emerging technologies. The third thing I would do is I would go to MTN and say, I want you and Airtel and Leica and Canal Box to create a fund of 200 billion to fund any Ugandan who wants to create a digital asset as long as it works. And no, you can't own it. The next thing I would do is I'll go to CMA and say, I want you to write listing regulations for a company that is selling a thing which MTN says works. Why? Because MTN knows more than the market. MTN has the technology. So I would make MTN accountable in this mix to say, now you arbitrate between whether it works or not, such that there is trust out there and people are not buying pill. Then I would create capital markets that work. In Silicon Valley, the difference in Silicon Valley and Chikubo, there are two main differences between Silicon Valley and Chikubo, only two. Number one, in Silicon Valley, they have more money. There's a road called Sand Hill Road. The companies there control $12 trillion. There's 6 companies in a space of 2 miles. Now, in Chikubo, guys have money. But the other side, guys have more. The difference between them and here is, in Silicon Valley, you can go to bed broke, wake up the next morning and sell 12 slides. The Sequoia pitch deck is actually 12 slides. You fill it in right, somebody will give you $10 million to say, show me that it works. They will invest in 10 businesses, fully expecting 9 of them to fail. As long as one of them becomes $1 billion business. Think about it. When Zuckerberg invented Facebook, that guy, what was he trading in? Lugambo. Facebook began as a gossip platform. Today, it is worth trillions of dollars. The guy is on the $1 billion list. Now, I don't know if I've touched every aspect of your question, but the point is this. The point is this. There are 3 ways we can help the next generation. First of all, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. Those guys don't care about your penal code. They live on the phone. And because they can do things with their phones, whether you like it or not, they will trade crypto. So what you do is just help them to do it better and safely. That's what I would do. Now, our contribution in this, what kind of person would I be? At Makerere, we set up a center for low and emerging technologies. I am going to go to Albert to sponsor me. The idea is to merge 3 worlds. To merge policy, industry, and the academy. That if I go and show people who are coming out of law school tomorrow, this is how you should think about the questions. Because think about it. If you use the FTX bankruptcy, I teach insolvency law. And next semester, I am going to the FTX bankruptcy as a case study. You can apply that to MTN. Has anybody thought about what would happen if either MTN or Airtel went belly up? Now,
Is it possible?
it is possible. now, maybe MTN is not possible, but me, I want, by the way, Chinotondopa. One time when I was younger, I conceived an idea to file a public interest liquidation suit. That we should wind up MTN in the public interest. Tubagale. Tondopa. But think about it. When we were coming, I said to Olga, but there's a problem with Airtel, surely. I bought 20 GB of data on Sunday night at 7 p.m. Today at 2 p.m., they told me you have used, at midday, they said you have used up all your data. I worked on Monday. Did I work on Monday? I spent most of my Monday in meeting. On Tuesday, I spent most of my day in meeting. Yesterday, I worked all day. The most I have done with my data is watch 1.5 movies. 1.5 movies. Surely. 20 GB.
Yes.
Now, the problem is there is no blockchain where I can go and say, show me what it did.
Sure.
Someday, some kid is going to sit down and say, we as lawyers need to solve the problem that is Airtel data. MTN
to protect Airtel, who I know in another heart, let's say it's a UCC problem.
You see, we are not debating about whether there is a problem. We can all agree there is a problem.
Yes. True.
And the issue is for lawyers to resolve.
True.
So the question is, what is the problem? How do we resolve it?
Yes.
That's a discussion I think we should have. The discussion we should not have, which is what regulators are forcing us to say, is no. Because there is a problem, it's a big one, we can't solve it, close Airtel. Is that a fair solution? You understand? Think about it that way. So for me, in the end, it comes down to this. There is work for lawyers in this space. You just have to know how to flip it. When MTN wants to buy a company that is doing something in the Momo space, guess what? They call a lawyer. There are fields of law that we are looking at all of them. Our head of law science and technology is Miss Karunji. Me, I'm her employee. There are fields of law we are looking at that are not yet practiced in this market, but out there are full course units.
Yes.
Now, when you talk about democratizing legal services, we should be talking to MTN to say, Banang, how does this disruption of yours affect me as a lawyer?
Yes.
Kakati now, tukoze tutia.
Yes.
And even when we don't like, a client of ours taught me a lesson that, this is the last point. Like, I talk for a living. but this is the last point.
Yes.
A client of ours taught me a very valuable lesson. He said, Robert, and he said it in passing. We were talking about the Trump. I forgot to comment about Trump before that.
Yes.
Study what's happening in America. Joe Biden comes and says, here is a roadmap on how to regulate crypto. On day one, Trump says, I am repealing Biden's roadmap. Here is my own roadmap. Notice this. 3 things. Number 1, when he repeals Biden's roadmap, he doesn't do nothing. He creates a new one. Do you know what's driving his agenda? His billionaire friends.
Yes.
The market. Number 2, whether you like it or not, because Trump has basically legitimized crypto, you don't have a choice. Crypto will go mainstream in Uganda, and I would dare say in less than 5 years. Number 3, the reason why crypto will go mainstream is because one of the things happening in the US that the Trump president has accelerated is this. Billionaires are saying politics in America is too erratic. We can no longer be sure that America will be what it was 10 years ago. What's the solution? They are saying, if I have $10 billion, can I find a place where I can take it and live my life in Silicon Valley away from America? They are finding new places they can create, a new Dubai, a new Hong Kong, a new do you know how big, what's that place where Formula 1 happens? Monaco. Do you know how big Monaco is?
Very small, actually.
The size of Ginger to Entebbe.
Very small.
That's Monaco. The amount of money that people exchange in Monaco every day, I don't care what they exchange it for, will make your head spin and your hair grow downwards. The point being, capital in America will need a new home very soon. Why don't we make that home Uganda? And for us to do that, we need to stop this silly approach to regulation and understand the best thing we can do for this country to bring the Ugandan from where they are to a point where we can boast of bank balance. Nigeria paid off its foreign debt. It is now well known, a country which hits 20% of GDP in tax collection can pay off its historical debt comfortably and finance its budget. Singapore did it, Nigeria has done it, Uganda intends to do it in the next 6 years. URA has a new target. In the next 4 years, they want to be collecting 20% of GDP. Why? Because they know they can be able to pay off the sovereign debt comfortably and finance the budget. We can complain about high taxes, or we can create new asset classes and drive commerce differently. Going back to my client, the lesson they taught me was this. There are 2 ways you can criticize. You can go and abuse, which is what we do on radio every day, or you can criticize by creating. Ever since I heard that phrase, I have made the decision to criticize by creating. So I'm going to go to MTN and tell Albert and his colleagues, Mujetu Yombe, by the time we are done creating, they will have instructed me and agreed to pay me 1 billion shillings in fees. All I request from you is Munsabide Biitem.
I see one question is from the taxman. I can't see from the taxman. Oh, sorry.
I disagree with him very respectfully on the issue of crypto. No. My illiterate father told me, whoever promises you to make money without working, be very careful with that person. The difference between MTN and cryptos, other cryptos, is MTN doesn't promise you money. Basically, MTN is a medium of transaction. Most of us use MTN to pass our money to do other things. We don't make money from MTN. You know, I have received interest messages from capitalization from MTN. I have not seen 1,000 shillings. They will always be less than 1,000 shillings, just within, and so it's very easy money for them to part with. Cryptos promise you riches in minutes. It does not exist. Now, for me, before I became a lawyer, I was an accountant. I combined the two professions. You don't promise me money that I don't know where it's going to come from. The safest investment in this country is treasury bonds. Any investment that is giving you returns of higher than, number of times higher than the treasury bonds, are very risky investments. They simply just don't work. In 2019, I got clients who wanted me to give them education about crypto. That was at the height of scams. By the way, let me tell you, Robert, one of the reasons why you don't get regulations coming up about cryptos and they keep on shutting them, 80% of them are being scammed. And so they are very careful that it can happen to anybody. And if you do not take a step to convince cryptos to get regulation, trust is not going to come anywhere near. I will be among those ones to stand up on any pulpit and shout people run away from cryptos because they are scams. And indeed, they are. I know that we've spent a lot of time. I would have really wanted a good debate directing questions to my teacher, but we do not have that opportunity. For Albert with MTN, very comfortable. We just use you to pay. Basically send money to my grandmother and what. You are not cryptos per se, you are just, in fact, we appreciate you, you do a good job to make our money move, but collecting money and Bitcoin, you see when they tell you it is going to be worth 50,000 money, where is it coming from? And you know, when you invest, there must be something that is leading to a return so that your investment is yielding.
Yes. So
But
Majid, I think I'm sorry to interrupt, but the question has come out very robustly. It is with us.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to direct the teacher, despite the fact that he's usually the one directing. I'm going to give him a minute to respond. Before he responds in that 1 minute, I can maybe just chip in and say that the last coin that he mentioned, the stable coins, it's just think of it as money. They're telling you that one stable coin is equal to 1 Ugandan shilling. It is pegged. So if you're worried about that volatility of prices going up and down, going for the different type of crypto is stable coin. But I see you have a comeback. Let me allow...
because I had little time,
Yes.
I would have categorized.
Yes.
There are those that are basically transactional.
Aha.
You are not basically
Exactly.
making money, but they are just transactional. Those
Exactly.
ones are okay.
Exactly.
But these ones that promise you heaven on earth,
Yes.
oh,
No, let me. We are pressed for time. I'm
We'll
going to try
cry,
and keep it.
but
I'm going to
Alia.
try and I'm going to try and keep it in under 1 minute. Now, let me put the watch here so I can look at it. My brother, there are 3 different things, and unfortunately, this is where the debate gets lost. That's why I talked about awareness, and I'll start from a personal experience. In 2010, 2011, I traded forex online, currencies. I know how to buy and sell currencies online. There was an account we traded that had $4,900 with this wonderful lady here. In 10 working days, Monday to Friday, this account had $9,920. We withdrew the money, we gave it to a guy, the person who stole from us was not the forex market. It was my friend whom we lent the money to. To this day, he has never repaid it. I tell the story for a reason. There are 3 different pieces of the crypto world you should take apart. Number 1, crypto itself never promises impossible returns. Nobody has ever said, if you buy Bitcoin, you are guaranteed 100% because it is Bitcoin. No. Anybody who understands crypto will tell you, if you intend to buy Bitcoin today and you will need that money tomorrow, leave Bitcoin alone. Put money in Bitcoin, which you can walk away from, come back after 3 years. Why? Because Bitcoin is the true definition of a liberated market. It will go up, it will go down. Does that sound familiar? They call it stock exchange. When you buy MTN shares, MTN tells you in their prospectus, share prices can go up, they can go down. As of today, I don't know how many billion I invested in the MTN stock alone. I didn't buy MTN stock for my own reasons. But you see, just because you can see MTN, the principle is the same. The people who scam are criminals. And whether they are using crypto or telex free, they will scam. Also, let's go away from the virtual world. I am sure you own at least 1 piece of land in your life. True or false?
Let's leave that alone.
Now, anybody who has dealt in land will tell you, even land which you can see, there are a fere who will scam. Guess what? There is a man I will always respect in real estate. He's called Kasulu, Property Masters. Because that man created a land market that didn't exist. He came and said, tuli bakayungirizi. Tetugula wabula tukola chi? Yes, and you can't blame him. Jomai people may have lost money because of Jomai. The problem was not land. The problem was Jomai failed to govern his business well. The problem is not crypto. The problem is the people who have a mental intent to cheat you. And those scammers are the ones we told. You don't, when your child goes and commits susus in his shorts, do you throw away the shorts? Do you throw away the child? Or do you correct the problem? Because I think the way you're looking at it is, the moment your child soils his pants, what you should do is throw away the child. That's what you're saying. It's that simple. The point is this. Are there scams in the crypto space? Yes. What's the solution? Awareness. Tell people, if you can't do volatility, stay away from the markets. There are those people who like a high. In forex trading, for example, which is the same thing in crypto, there are different types of traders. There's what is called scalping. I buy and sell a currency 200 times in a minute. And I know that if out of those 200 times, I profit in 120 times, I can afford to lose 80 times. It's okay. Statistics. This is basic math. 120 times, even if I gain $1. When I was trading forex, one of the things that would cause you a loss is your risk appetite. If you're on a high and you keep going. So one of the ways you'd solve it is you say, me if I make $500 a day, I don't care if it is 9 a.m., I'm going to go and sleep. On the day of the Japanese tsunami of 2011, I traded forex on my bed. I made $600 in 1 hour. I closed my accounts, I walked away. 3 hours later, the Central Bank of Japan called the Federal Reserve in the US. Federal Reserve got on the phone with London Exchequer. They agreed to infuse 25 billion in the markets. The market reversed. Anybody who was still trading when that announcement hit the news wires lost money. Why? Because they were greedy. You will lose money in land because of a scam. That doesn't mean land isn't an asset. By the way, I disagree with you on something. The most valuable asset in Uganda you can ever invest in and be assured of a return is land. It is not the treasury bill. Why? A treasury bill just protects your money from a government-imposed tax called inflation. When they tell you they will give you 12% on a 90-day bill, what they are saying to you is, inflation right now is at 9%. The actual return, my brother, is 3%. If I go and buy land today from Albert for 100 million shillings and I sell it to this gentleman here for 200 million shillings, I can do that on the same day and I will make 100%. There is no treasury bill anywhere in the world that will ever give you 100% at any time, day or night. Now,
My teacher said the safest.
no. Even then, by the way,
Because you
as
can't
long
be
as-
scammed.
As long as
For
I
land,
buy
you can be scammed.
No, but you see, that's the thing. What you're doing is you're not investing, you're saving. There's a difference. In other words, when I buy a treasury bill, what I'm doing is I'm saving my money today. I just want it to have the same value 10 years from now as it does today. The power purchasing parity. I want people to buy the same things I would buy today at the prices of 10 years from now using the same money. That's all you do with treasury bills. It's that simple. But we're not here for an investment class. Now, of course, there are people here who will disagree with me. And I understand that. But the point is this. When you go and look at the crypto market, apply the same due diligence you would apply to any asset. Albert was telling me here that you even have scams on Momo. They are rare. So now, therefore, the problem is not crypto. The problem is you know there's that phrase, acts of God. I read a book that said acts of God and evil men. It is the evil in the hearts of men, not the asset class, that is the problem. I rest my case.
Thank you so much. Can we have a final hand clap for the presenters?
But Albert hasn't given us his parting shot.
I think, Albert, I'm going to restrict you to a minute, and after that minute, I'll ask the members. I promised you the best panel. Didn't I deliver? Thank you. Albert, a minute?
Thank you very much. Always very nice to be at the same table with you.
Yes.
Look, what can you say after he's spoken, right? I think he's right. When I look at the legal minds, there's a big place for you to play in supporting and driving our economy. There's a lot of regulation that, what can I say? Let me take you back. When mobile money came to Uganda, was it being regulated by Bank of Uganda? Who was regulating it? And I can tell you, nobody understood what it was and how it worked. And from where it is today, it's now been taken to central bank. But is it a bad thing? We've benefited all along, right? So I think sometimes because you don't understand something does not make it a bad thing. And there are many people around in the industry that you can consult. For me, I think there's something called vulnerability, and it's okay. We can learn from other markets, we can learn from each other, but we cannot watch, things happening across the borders, and we cannot participate in them. So, and I also encourage the lawyers. Honestly, technology, you've got a lot to do in there. AI, machine learning should not go past you. There's a lot of biases. I think there's a lot of stuff in the law area where you guys can play. And I think don't let the wheel run without you, because companies like MTN, Airtel, and all the others cannot do what they are doing without the lawyers. And you guys are the advocates for this, because if you understand it, then these policies are passed very quickly and the country can move on, right? But you can't, now Momo or MTN cannot go and try to fight it alone.
True.
But if you guys believe it works, and there's a lot in for you guys. Momo has lawyers, I know we have a lot of lawyers, but we work with a lot of the advocates out of the actual company. So I'll leave it there and say, for me, I think I agree with you, my colleague. The scams will always be there.
Yes.
It's about awareness, learning. We have the responsibility to train. Even the e-Naira, I want you to go and have a look at the e-Naira as a use case.
Yes.
Where they did the CBDC, and ask yourself why it wasn't successful. So those cases are there. And then you have cases in South Africa, in Kenya, where people are already plugging in and they're very successful. And look at what is happening in the US. I don't think they are stupid, like you said. I think we just need to understand and see where can we meet to protect our people and not miss on the economy.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my panelists. My parting shot, as lawyers, your job is risk management at the end of the day. The risks have been pointed out. Find a way to advise your clients on that basis. So, arrangements for the next stage. As you're leaving here, there is a table just at the entrance. Each of you has a QR code. Just present that QR code at that table. You'll be given a lunch coupon and directed to your lunch. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice day.
Your senior is here for you.